Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you all. We've got Desi and Rita with us, and we are...
Hello, Jane.
Hi, Rita. Hi, Rita. Welcome. We're having our third New Immune live lecture series event this evening, and we're continuing with nutrition with specific interest and emphasis on gut health. Disease begins in the gut. And I know it's one of Desi and Rita's favorite topics as well, because it's absolutely true. So I've got a few slides on some practical things to make after Desi's talk. We'll be looking at idli. We're going to be looking at kimchi and fermented brews. So let's wait for that. And without further ado, hi, everybody from around the world. Awesome to see you. Desi, we're going to get straight on to you because I know your schedule's also really, really tight. And it's an honor and thank you very much for your presence. Over to you.
Wanted to continue our series on nutrition, and one of the most important nutrients is water. We consistently, most people today, I think something in the neighborhood of 80% of the people today are dehydrated their entire lives. And then everybody gets dehydrated during the whole day. So let's watch a little video that I made about water as a nutrient.
Okay, I'm ready.
That's the first one I gave you that. Here we have a couple of tests to tell you your hydration index. You can do this with the machine. But also, one of the best ways is to look just at the color of the urine. If you're fully hydrated, it should be very, very clear. But you'll see the darker it gets, that's the more dehydrated you are. So this is one of the best indicators, the color of your urine. But also we have a skin test, because when you scratch the skin, the histamine will rush in to help deal with the trauma. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, say, a butter knife or your fingernail, something sharp, but not too sharp. Okay, we're going to draw over the skin. Okay, and I draw down hard, make a little 1,000. Look at it, tell me when it starts to turn 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. Okay, there it goes. You see that little red. Now that was just a couple of seconds. There you go, you're red. 6 seconds was good. 4 or 5 seconds are ideal. Histamine flows well, hydration, adrenal are adequate. 10 seconds is good. More than 20 seconds indicates a problem. Now, we're going to take that nail, scratch, not hard, not too hard. Then we're going to count 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4, 5, 6, 7,000, 8,000, 9. At 9,000 now, this is my arm. And here you see the red just starting. When that red is just starting, that indicates how much time it took. That means that 9 seconds is pretty good for me. Injured tissue mast cells release histamine, causing the surrounding blood vessels to dilate and increase permeability. Histamine makes the red color. This allows fluid and cells of the immune system to flow into the tissues, to get to that tissue injury we made with the scratch. They begin to fight the injury and nourish and heal the injured tissues. Your level of hydration determines how fast these life fluids will flow into the tissues.
75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated, meaning they don't get enough water. On average, 8 to 10 cups of water is the recommended amount of water each person should be drinking a day. Most people consume less than 3 cups of water a day.
All of your patients have some type of dehydration during the day. It always happens. You can help all of your patients just by getting them to drink more water. Very important.
One of the best ways to keep your body functioning at its best, start the day and stay hydrated. But it turns out more than 4 out of 10 people in the U.S., they don't drink enough fluids. There's not enough water. There's just, in fact, a lot of people get to the end of the day, they haven't had any water. Okay. Maybe it's just been sodas or...
You can also test for dehydration by the symptoms, the headache, dizziness, tiredness, dry mouth, these different types of things, dry skin, constipation. These things can also highly indicate that there is dehydration.
A simple hack. You can do this yourself to determine if you're dehydrated. Dr. Batra?
Well, so this is just a test of skin trigger. So what Dr. Stork is doing is he's pinching my hand, and he's seeing how fast the skin retracts down. And since I've been drinking water all morning, it should retract down pretty quickly, I hope.
Your skin elasticity changes as you age, so you want to establish a baseline when you're fully hydrated, and then you'll get a quick idea of what happens when you're dehydrated. And you get dehydrated many times during the day, especially when you sleep all night.
And if it doesn't, that's called skin tinting. And it can be a sign of dehydration. And what I would say is test it when you know you're fully hydrated. Yeah. Then you have your baseline.
Exactly.
Okay, because we're all different. Like Drew.
I'm dehydrated.
Well, he might be, but you know what
Another place you can test is the glabella between the eyes up here on the forehead. Also, you can get an idea, but check yourself, whether you're hydrated or not, get a baseline, and then you'll see as you get dehydrated. But oftentimes, just dry mouth, being thirsty. You can check baby skin's an interesting point. Now, here's another test that you can do. If you press hard onto the nail bed for 5 seconds, okay, somebody else, press on there for 5 seconds, it will turn white. Then you want to count how many seconds does it take to restore the pink color. If it takes more than 3 seconds to come back to pink, that means you're dehydrated. If you're dehydrated, you're going to need good water. And the best waters get living water. Here we put some cucumber in the water to make it living. And this is your hostess with the mostest, Desiree Dubounet, teaching you about water and how to learn about nutritional deficiencies and when you are dehydrated. Little some tips about how to tell if you're dehydrated.
I think amazing. And you were talking about living water. And Desi, let's just talk about wettability and the ability of the body to actually absorb water, structured water versus unstructured tap water. There's differences.
Oh, yeah. Basically, number one, any water is better than no water.
True.
Okay. So we want to get, now, of course, we're talking clean water. But even tap water in most places is better than having no water. When I was a kid, my father would have he would have gone crazy to think that we had to buy water.
True.
Water was the tap. I mean, today, people, they don't want to drink tap water. Everything is, they have to buy water. And sometimes the plastic, that you get the water in, makes the water bad from the plastic. So we have to recognize that getting water is important. Okay, now the next step. What is the best water? Well, if we take distilled water, the life energy is ripped away from it. Because normal evaporation that happens in the lakes and the rivers and the ocean, it doesn't happen at boiling temperature. It happens at normal, atmosphere, normal of the day. And that normal type of evaporation is good. But when you take the water up to a very high temperature at boiling, now what you're doing is you're taking away all the energetic structures inside the water. As soon as the water gets over 60 degrees Celsius, at 60 degrees Celsius, the water loses its magnetic crystalline effect. And when it reorganizes, it will reorganize in a I won't say non-healthy way, but in a less healthy way. Okay? So it will not be as wet. So distilled water is not good. If we take RO water, sometimes the RO water can take out too many minerals.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about trace minerals next week, but minerals are very, very important. And sometimes with certain water, we can take out too many minerals. So a good mineral water is fine, but we have to make sure that it's a balanced mineral water, that we're not getting too much potassium.
And too much nitrogen.
Too much nitrates and all the other things. Yes, and we have to, it's always a balancing act. One of the key things that comes up is the difference between soda water or water. The difference is small. So there's no reason to not get bubbly water, sparkling water. If that is what helps it helps you or your child to drink water, do not be afraid of the bubbles. Do not be afraid of the bubbles. And if the person is has a little trouble in the pancreas getting their carbonate, what makes the water soda is carbonic acid. That's what they put into the water to make it soda. So the carbonic acid can actually benefit certain people because it supplies the carbon that they need to make the sodium bicarb, which will then be able to neutralize the stomach acid and intensify your digestion. I like soda water because of its flavor. I like soda water during a meal because it helps to stir up when I have it with the meal, it's a small amount, so it's around about a 4-ounce glass. And I will have a small glass of soda water with the meal. That soda will have an extra stirring effect inside the stomach to help stir up the things, and the soda water will also help to push the material, and kind of push the digestion a little bit. So a little bit of soda water, and then I just like the flavor. If I go to a restaurant now and have soda water, I really like that. And the best thing to do, get a nice soda water, drink it 10 minutes before. When you go into the restaurant, get yourself a nice glass of soda water, drink it down so that by the time they cook your meal and bring it, your stomach is clean. You got water supplied into your intestine, into your stomach. You're ready to go. And then you drink very little with the meal. When the meal starts, you want to have a small amount that might help to stir it. But most people are drinking their water or drinking coffee or drinking cola or wine, and they're drinking too much with the meal, and that will lower their stomach acid, so it creates a problem. The best thing,
they have ice with the drink as well.
Yeah. And they have too much ice, especially Americans. Oh my God, we put so much.
I have this one. I drink the spring water, Desi.
Yeah, great. If you can get the right spring, and if it's well filtered, that's one of the best sources. That's nature. The
Life Force has the Life Force in it, almost.
Well, I find to get the Life Force, a touch of apple cider vinegar, a couple of drops of lemon juice, maybe a slice of cucumber, just a little something, and it helps to add a life force back to the water.
Yeah.
So that's why I showed you the cucumbers there.
Yeah, then the absorption is better, because some people come in and tell us they're drinking 3 liters of water a day, but the device is showing us, there's big hydration problems, so they're clearly not absorbing it.
Well, and then there's a whole key factor. There's another video I have about how to drink it, etc. with water, and I'll be talking about that later, but not today. But then how you drink your water and what time of day and everything, it has there's a science to it. So at any rate, let's play the next video. This is Professor of Medicine, Desiree Dubounet, the man who left America to find freedom. He's no longer a man. Don't die tomorrow. Don't die of fright. We're continuing the talk about essential nutrients and the nutrients that we need for life. And when we're born, during the first year of life, we will double our size. The brain will triple in growth. And mother's milk is the perfect food. But we then realize that there's so much nutrition, and there's beyond just chemical nutrition. There's emotional nutrition that helps these neurons to fire and the synaptics to grow. Yes, we could talk about amino acids and phospholipids and fatty acids and taurine and choline, zinc, lutein, iron, but we have to recognize there's more. There's emotional growth. There's intellectual stimulation that we need. We need intellectual stimulation. We need friends. We need social networks. We need love. We need respect. All of these things help our neurons to grow and to fire and develop synaptic clefts. It's beyond just the nutrition. We need intellectual, emotional, and social nutrients. These are nutrients that we need to grow. It's very important that we get these intellectual stimulations, love, respect, social networks. Let's start with intellectual stimulation. So needed, so vital.
It's a challenge and an intellectual stimulation, something that gets my mind thinking in a different way.
As we grow, as time goes by, we always will need intellectual stimulation on a daily basis in order to stimulate the neurons. Think of intellectual stimulation as an essential nutrient. As we think and ponder, this will help the synapses to grow and develop, and to keep firing, and to develop till the end of life. As we get these intellectual stimulation of the neurons, it will improve our sport ability, improve the body connection. So our mind, our intellect, stimulation on a daily basis as a needed nutrient. Thereby the synaptic clefts will develop, the neurotransmitters will flow, and recognize that the bowel flora is so important. And that will help to develop the mechanisms for our senses and in our eyes as we now start to capture and utilize all the different mechanisms of intellectual stimulation, brainstorming, ideas, exercises, meditation, insight development, inspiration, challenges, so many ideas that can flow through us and around us.
There is no in between. You're either growing or you are decaying.
The brain is made of amino acids and fatty acids that make up the brain, that allow these neurons to work. But it is the intellectual, the social, the emotional, the psychological, the spiritual stimulation that allows this to really ultimately work. You see, intellect and intellectual stimulation is a nutrient. You need to stimulate the intellect every day for wellness. You only get one brain. You got to take care of it. It'll take care of you. You have to be able to look beyond and look differently at every situation, because every situation has both sides to it. And thereby you can start to increase your own.
Life is a series of choices. At that moment, that choice was, quite honestly, hard work.
To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did.
As we go through life, as we go through the day, we need to awaken our minds, awaken the brain, awaken perception, expanding the eyes, the ears, non-judgmental awareness.
Break it down and add just a little more effort. Add just a little more focus. Add just a little more time management. Add just a little more patience. Add just a little more studying. Add just a little more listening. Add just a little more discipline.
We can then start to see the clutter in our minds, clutters in our world, and we can then get the motivation and the drive to clean it up. Clean up our world, clean up our mind, clean out the clutter, and organize with intellectual stimulation.
You know, while the other guy's sleeping, I'm working. While the other guy's eating, I'm working.
But it don't work if you don't work. I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing.
Instead of trying to live a successful life, if you aim to have a successful day, if you have 13 out of the 24 hours of your day, if you won those hours, you won the day. And if you win most of the days in a week, you won the week. You know, we just need a simple majority here.
Your most valuable asset is time. Your most precious gift is time. Your most important ally is time. But for no apparent rhyme or reason.
The mind can do anything. It just takes time, persistence, perseverance, to expand the mind day by day, inch by inch, relaxing when you can, studying when you can, finding a way to get that harmony and balance. That intellectual stimulation is a nutrient every day. Mind can do anything, it just takes time. Build that awareness, expand.
If you work hard and you never give up, you can literally achieve anything.
The mind can achieve anything. It just takes time. Sometimes eons, thousands of years can go by to achieve what man can do.
If you want something, you have got to be relentless. This is a winner's quality. You have that quality within you. When you're hungry, you don't care about the facts. You don't care about the odds.
The mind can do anything. It just takes time.
Because I'm going to do this. I'm going to harness my will. And I'm not going to let anything stop me. I deserve this.
Hard work is the most precious asset you have.
And as you set free your mind from limits, expand your mind into infinity.
Put your head down and do the training and take the pain, and eventually it's going to pay off. And on those days where you just got to get through an impossible to-do list, you really have to feel that if you put your head down and you take the pain, it's going to pay off.
And another essential nutrient, love.
I love you. You complete me. And I just had...
Shut up. Just shut up. You had me at hello.
Love is an essential nutrient. Without it, life has little meaning. It's the best thing we have to give, and the most valuable thing we can receive. It's a nutrient we need on a daily basis. As we get this nutrient on a daily basis, sometimes only 10-15 minutes a day is all we need to be able to get our love nutrient. We find it in our meaning for others, in our families. We find it in many ways. You find it at the job. You find it up in many different ways. And if you don't have someone to love, then learn to love yourself. Get that feeling of love for yourself. You can do it. Recognize you have faults, but that feeling of love you can give yourself. Expand the mind and recognize that love is a nutrient we need every day. And if you're in a situation where you can't find it from another person, then give it to yourself every day. Love might just not be an essential nutrient. Love might be the essential nutrient. Expand your mind. Expand your compassion to include all things in the universe, starting with yourself. And another essential nutrient, respect.
All I'm asking is for respect.
Respect is also an essential nutrient. We all need a daily dose. We have to learn to tolerate and accept differences and respect other people. Doesn't mean we have to buy what they're selling, but we have to respect their decisions, their lifestyle, their choices. And as we give respect, then we will also find that we get respect. We don't have to buy everything that they're selling. We just have to respect them. And don't tolerate disrespect. Give people chances. Respect yourself. Because if you can't get respect from other people, then learn to respect yourself. Respect your own decisions. When you talk to yourself, respect your time. Finish your sentences. And learn to respect. Everything starts from within. Become your own best friend. Give yourself love. Give yourself respect. Give yourself intellectual stimulation. All of these factors. Become your own best friend. Be honest with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't sugarcoat the truth. Be real. Question yourself. Be honest with yourself in a graceful way. Love and respect yourself. And then you can love and respect others. Hello?
Yeah, that was very powerful. Indeed.
Yeah, people need to know that love and respect and these things, it starts with yourself. And when you start to really respect yourself, you stop interrupting yourself.
And then you can also respect other people a lot better.
So as you're talking to yourself in your mind, sometimes you don't finish a sentence, you like talking and you let it go. And no, respect yourself. Finish your own sentences, even when you're talking to yourself in your mind, so that then you get your clarity of thought and you start to see, well, some of those thoughts aren't so good, some are, better. But then as you start to respect yourself and surround yourself with love, it changes your world when you start to find out that loving yourself is an essential nutrient. When I worked in America, and I worked with the courts, and they started to send me rape victims. And I ended up with having hundreds of women, almost all women, of course, that were sent to me because they had been sexually abused, they were in bad relationships, etc. Well, I devised with my machine, I was just developing the machine, and I would put them into a room and hook them up to the biofeedback device. And then I would, let them listen to music, and, they would hear the biofeedback sounds of their heartbeat, and they would relax, and the music would change and get more relaxing the more they relaxed. And it was set up really, really pretty. And then I would just open the door and look in on them. And amazingly, like the first 15 people I did, the women were, they were nervous. They were twisting. I thought they would be relaxing. I put them in this beautiful, nice room, dark room, not absolutely dark, just soft, lighting, and was, very nice with, nice big chair and, beautiful music and everything. And they were just struggling. And I said to him, I said, why are you struggling? I thought, you're supposed to relax. And the one woman said it best. She said, I hate myself, and you make me sit in a room with the person I hate the most. Oh my God, you hate yourself. And then I started to realize that so many people hate themselves.
Yeah, and they project that to others, and that's the problem, because they cannot find the proper ways how to channel that, how to understand, and how to disconnect from that energy.
So they, I tried to, then I realized I was going about this the whole way, wrong direction. Even Jesus, when he taught, he said, love God, and then love your neighbor as yourself. But he never really taught people how to love themselves. Now, maybe it was because and I don't want to be semantic here, but the Jewish people don't seem to have a hard time loving themselves. They seem to to understand that better, than other people. So maybe that's why he skipped that one.
I believe also to be able to love yourself, you have to become the person of your word and build commitments what you actually keep. Like, I'm not going to come home late. I'm going to finish this education. I'm going to take out the trash. And as we fulfill and complete these little commitments, then we start to love ourselves because we see that we have discipline, integrity, and then we start to build up the self-esteem and the self-love.
And then you get to have more love for yourself. So so then I started realizing that if I'm going to teach people how to love others, they have to learn to love themselves. And then I would tell them to love the universe and to spread their circle of compassion to surround all things. And sometimes it's just so difficult because they just don't like themselves. They don't think that they're worth of it. So then I had to take a whole different bent. And then when I started to really help those people embrace and love themselves, that's when the therapy really started to work. And so many psychologists today, they don't spend enough time on this.
And many studies show that if you actually get healthy feedback, like you can respect your intellect, you can respect your work, your achievements for your family, care for others, for your family, friends, then you start to actually recognize that there are many things you can love yourself for. But until that is not establishing in your body, mind, spirit, that will be always like holding you back from life. And some people are actually the opposite. They love themselves too much and they become so selfish that they hardly see others, and they actually translate everything from their own perspective. And they are not able to see other religion, other gender, other culture, other God consciousness, other opinion, or other political views because they just put themselves everywhere.
And that's why I wanted to make sure that we learned to teach people toleration versus acceptance.
Yes, exactly.
When we start talking about, there's a different group of people over here. Which is in South Africa. Of course, you have the blacks right there. In America, we have the blacks right there. Some people they don't understand. But so there's this group of people, and we have to learn toleration. We don't want to embody everything, but we don't have to accept. We don't have to lend them money, but we have to tolerate as they should learn to tolerate ourselves. And toleration then allows us to embrace humanity, but we don't have to embrace it so that we have to lend everybody money.
Yeah, but my family, for example, my parents taught me as a child that you give the same respect to the postman, to the building director, to the every person, because we are all human beings and everybody is respectable and everybody has their own value. And just because we have money differences or somebody lives in poverty, that doesn't mean that that person is a less valuable human being. Now, greed and money is actually making a very bad influence also on the younger teenagers, because everybody sees on Instagram the nice cars, nice apartments, surgeries, and they think that that's life. And the human being is a lot more than just a shell or just the gold necklace or just the money what you see there.
Yeah, so learning to tolerate is another nutrient. But I think I got one more video for today, right?
I think you've got two more, so let's just see.
Let's play the next one.
Okay, here we go.
This is Professor of Medicine, Desiree Dubounet, the man who left America to find freedom, who, well, no longer a man. Today we're going to talk a little bit about cooking. You see, cooking can destroy that negative entropy, that life force. Now, a long time ago, we found out about infections, and they were killing millions and millions of people. It was a big problem. The invention of the microscope, and all of a sudden, we were able to see these germs And how did the people handle it? Well, this is what they did. Germ phobia stepped in. People started to become afraid of germs. They see germs everywhere. Germs are on our food, and they're in the air, they're in the water, they're unavoidable. In fact, we have germs all throughout our body. It's very important we get to live in harmony. But all of a sudden, our society started to destroy germs, making sure everything was cooked, cooked, cooked. But along with that cooking, we were destroying the enzymes. See, the enzymes are little magnetic substances that have magnetic action, and the heat was destroying them. The enzymes are denatured, destroyed by heating. And some of these factors are destroyed even at low temperatures, around 41 degrees Celsius. Now, cooking was needed in order to release the nutrients out of tubers like potatoes, rice. So cooking was a needed thing that helped the human brain to grow. But we were destroying enzymes, and too much cooking created a problem. We want to destroy bad bacteria, but we also want to help good bacteria. Now, fatty acids were destroyed at 104 degrees, so that's what happens with a child's fever. Now, we have to look at what happens with cooking and how the temperature and the way we cook affects the qualities of the nutrients. So by looking at this, fresh and raw and slow cooking, low temperature cooking, becomes a much more meaningful way to enable us to capture nutrients and to have much more nutrition. So, does cooking destroy nutrients? Well, yes. The higher the heat, the longer the exposure, the more we lose nutrition. So we have to find ways. We need to find ways like stir-fry. They found up in the mountains of China that when they stir-fried foods, they were able to capture more, because cooking will take away the color and texture and the nutritive value of the vegetables. Now, what about air frying? Well, yes, this is a type of cooking. So when we air fry, does it destroy nutrients? Well, the answer is yes, but it destroys less than boiling in oil. Boiling in oil is a very, very harsh, high temperature. Temperatures of boiling oil are very, very high. They destroy the nutrients and the enzymes. Cosmic microwave background radiation is part of the process of the world, its connection to a God consciousness. So there's a low-level microwave radiation circulating throughout the entire universe. We have many movies about this that show you, explain more. But is microwave a problem? Is it killing your food? Well, actually, yes. The answer is high-intensity electromagnetic microwaves will vibrate those protons and destroy nutrients. Some people are very sensitive to microwave radiation. Now let's look at an experiment that was done. Here we have microwave water put onto a plant on the left and purified water on the right. After day 3, we see that there's an effect. The microwave water does not seem to have the life force. And after a while, just a short period, a couple of days, there's a major effect. The microwave water does not allow the growth. So it is affecting the life energy. Yes, that's what happens with microwaves. I know that's shocking. Here we have some Kirlian photography. Because now we've taken Kirlian photography, which captures a form of the energy in a high plasma field. And what we're going to find is that cooking really does destroy or weaken the life energy. There is a life energy, a negentropy, an organization quantum factor that helps us to live and resist decay. And that is destroyed by cooking. The longer we cook, the higher the temperature, the more we destroy. So we need to recognize that low cooking, and especially we do need to cook our potatoes and rice, but we have to recognize that this life force, there's a difference between the synthetics and the overcooked. But we have to monitor our fear of bacteria and recognize that there are things that destroy nutrients, such as temperature, cooking, leaching. chemical processes, synthetic chemicals, some plant enzymes, oxygenization. Those things affect. And we need to get back to an idea of stir fry, just a little warming of the material. This is what they found in the mountains of China, where there was scarce wood. They didn't have the wood to be able to cook. So what they found is that if they took their vegetables and a little bit of meat, with just a tiny, tiny touch of oil, and lightly stirred them to get it warm enough to a nice temperature, not hot enough to destroy the nutrients, just warm enough to have a palatable effect. I find I take my salads and throw them in the microwave for 10 seconds, about that, and it gives them much more flavor. Does pressure cookers destroy nutrients? Well, actually, if they're done correctly at lower temperatures, pressure cookers are a good way to cook food. It has to be at a low temperature. We have to recognize that the more we boil our food, then we're going to create a problem and lose nutrients. Okay? So as we start to recognize that to slow cook, low heat, and to be able to get fresh and raw vegetables into our body, and we follow these simple little rules, we're going to be able to help get the nutrients back into our system, getting us for health, vitality, and nutrition. So I hope I've taught you a little bit about how we need to stop overcooking our foods and be more wise about what we cook and don't cook. This is Desiree Dubounet. Hope I helped you today.
I will come back in a...
So, how do you do?
Very, very, very interesting. And also, Desi, what the utensils that you use to cook, because if you're using that Teflon frying pan, even to water stir fry, that's going to have lots of chemicals that come into the body.
Yeah, the old Teflon was really, really bad.
Yeah.
They've tried to improve it. They've tried to improve it. But I'm not so sure. I don't really like the Teflon. In the idea of microwave, I never microwave anything more than about 10 or 20 seconds. Okay, the microwave will warm things up, but I find that anything past 20 seconds, it just destroys all life force. But just to use it to get something warm, to warm up, something that was in the refrigerator from last night. I will do a little bit of microwave. I will hit it for, say 15 seconds. But to cook things in the microwave can be too much. It can destroy nutrients. So I believe that slow cooking is the best way to try to do a stir fry. The stir fry that we have is a nice metal. We have a normal metal without the Teflon, and just a touch of oil that I will smear on there, because boiled oil is bad. It's an unhealthy substance. You can't sell cooked oil in the grocery store because it's carcinogenic. It creates cancer. So when they boil the oil, when you make French fries, etc., you're getting exposed to a strong carcinogenic. That of course everybody likes to fry this and fry that. And I remember when I moved into Budapest, and everybody was frying everything. And I said, no, we don't boil things in oil. Then they bought the deep fryer. It was about the size of a big toaster. And I got so angry at them. I said, no, we don't boil. I don't want anything boiled in oil. Okay, you can boil things in water, but you don't boil anything in oil.
That is so revolting when you see that the napkin, when they put the meat on it, and it's completely looks like it is like a red towel.
The oil comes out of it. And one day I got so angry, I threw the deep fryer out the window.
Well, when you look under the microscope at people's blood, where they've been eating.
Hang on a second. When I threw it out the window, I had to pay for the damage of the car that was underneath. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Desi. I was just saying, when you have a look at people's blood who live on fried foods and you see the fat globules there, it's absolutely disgusting. And you just know that that blood is you know, moving around at half or less the speed that it should. You know that the oxygen levels are less than 50% of what they should as well. And you know that it's rancid, and you know that there's parasites living in it. And you know that when the liver's fatty, you got these pools of rancid oil with all these organisms inside it, and it's really repulsive.
Well, the natural oils that that you can extract, that cold processed oils.
Yeah, raw oil. If you take that every day with 2 coffee spoons or two soup spoons, that is actually helping your fatty acid nutrition needs.
We need these oils. We need the fatty acids.
Salmon oil.
Inside our body, it's very important that we have it inside the blood, the pre-fatty acid pool. This pool, like a swimming pool. So inside the blood, we need pre-floating fatty acids, and we need free amino acids floating around, so that when we are building cells, the body will take those fatty acids and the amino acids to build them. This is how we build the cells. When we are taking too much food that is cooked, we're getting bad fatty acids and bad
amino acid.
Every time we go to build a cell, we have bad building blocks. So then everything, it's just a question of what's going to go bad in your body. And that's, some people, it's going to be the gallbladder. Some people, it's going to be the pancreas. You're going to be diabetic. Some people, it's going to be the brain. Yeah, everybody has their own weak link.
And some people are very weak in digestion enzymes, and this heavy-duty fat cannot be even really digested, and that can also create cancer issues in the intestine and in the stomach. And what I also realized, that many people are suffering from autoimmune disease because of histamine deficiency. They are very sensitive on histamine, and many food and many fast food contains it.
Yes, anyway, so we got to get people back to lightly cooking. But then there are certain foods that have to be cooked. You cannot eat rice uncooked. I remember
share your cabbage pizza. That is incredible.
It's funny you should say the word sherry. I was going to tell the story.
I said share.
So my first wife, Sherry, she never really cooked it. She didn't understand. And we got married, and our first meal, she made me. She put rice into a mixture of like hamburger, and it's called like a porcupine ball. So you take the rice and you mix it in with the hamburger, and it comes out to this thing. And she didn't know to cook the rice first. So she made these, and here was these hard little pellets like BBs. The first meal we had. Oh my God! So rice we need to cook. Potatoes we need to cook. Many beans we need to cook. There's a lot of foods that we increase the nutritional value by cooking.
And to adding more different spices to it, like chili, paprika, curcuma, curry.
So this is why the human being was able to increase his intellect when he invented cooking. Not because of meat. No, when we look back in history, we're going to see that the invention of cooking, there was a dramatic takeoff in the intellect of human beings. It was not because of meat. It was because the cooking brought out the nutrients from the potatoes and the tubers. That was so important. And then all of a sudden we were able to expand our brains. We think it was meat, but it wasn't. It was not meat.
Oh, Jane has left the room.
She's maybe doing something.
Okay, what I would like to say and share that some people like really mishandle eating because they actually misunderstand emotions and happiness with food. So that's why many people are wanting to have fast adrenaline and fast happiness. So they choose the bad food. And normally in the past and in normal life, people should only eat what they need, and they should not eat because they want to feel better. They should eat because they need the energy and they need their intellect to function better.
We should eat for nutrition and not for stimulation.
Exactly.
And not for emotional satisfaction.
Not for depression, not for divorce or...
When you eat and when the food passes from your stomach to your small intestine, a hormone from the gallbladder is released called cholecystokinin, CCK. The release of CCK is an antidepressant, and it's a mild euphoric. So as we eat, many people get a little bit of a drug release.
Little rush from chocolate,
a little
pizza,
rush.
pasta.
Well, from eating anything. So, but this is the thing. So some people will eat because of the emotional connection.
Yeah, they are missing something and they want to replace it by making themselves happy eating.
In our machine, we talk about that with the gallbladder to the brain connection, the emotional eating.
Neurotransmitters.
And I have an entire procedure inside the machine to how to stop that, how to stop the emotional eaters, the stress eaters. Okay, you back, Jane?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. I was just trying to get your video through and it kept clicking on the video. Sorry about that. But I am ready. Oh, crumbs. Where's it gone again?
Let's show the last video here.
Okay, just a second, because this is where I'm trying to sort this thing out.
Okay.
I just pulled. Did you send me three? Did you send me the last one twice? That's what I'm trying to work out, because it looks like. Let me just have a double check. Hold on, everyone. No, it's not. It's not. Here we go. Here it comes.
Okay.
Hey, it was just. You know what happening? Wait, Daisy. It's just clicking so quickly onto the link that I'm battling.
Well, we can handle it next week. It's vitamin
Hang on.
C.
I'm getting it now. So just hang on a second.
If you can't get it through.
Yeah, okay, I've got it.
Any questions?
All right, there we go. It looks like it's the same video, Desi. I'll play it. I mean,
This is Professor of Medicine.
I don't know if it's the same. It looks the same.
Who left America to find freedom? Who, well, no longer. Just the beginning. It's not the same. Today's topic is going to be vitamin C, but we need to always remember negative entropy, the life force. A synthetic anything that's not compatible with the human body. We call it synthetic. Now, when we looked at natural vitamin C crystallized versus synthetic vitamin C, we start to see there's a big, big difference here. The physicist will tell you, you see, that the natural vitamin C plays with light because the electrons are at a high level, whereas the synthetic, the electrons are at a low energetic level. So they absorb light, become black. You see, there's a great big difference. The chemist will say it's the same thing. Now, when we look at the chromatography, we're also going to see there's an awful lot of subtleties in natural vitamin C that aren't there in the synthetic ascorbic acid. We're going to see that there really is a difference in the natural versus the synthetic. It's called life force. It's called multiple ingredients. There's other things. It's not a reductionistic. It's a holistic extravaganza of life. Now, St. Georgie, a good friend of mine, he won the Nobel Prize in 1937 for discovering vitamin C, and he said it's much more than ascorbic acid. He told them they were wrong. He laughed when he talked to me about this. And he wrote a book, Bioenergetics, and in the Bioenergetics it talked about the energy of life, that we needed to deal with the energy of life. If we don't talk about the energy, we're just talking about dead matter. No, we're living things. It's an energy of life. And he talked about how vitamin C was integral, and it needed to be into a complex. There's many different things. And vitamin C was involved with every biological process. It helped energies to intercede and to interact. But he said it was much more than ascorbic acid. It was the hesperidin, the rutins, the flavonoids, many things that went into getting the vitamin C to really work. And to really get it to work well, you need to get a complexity. And here's one of the best formulas that really has all different types of vitamin C that can get into a different act of the body at work. And he said the most profound thing was bone marrow. He laughed when he talked about his old country. He was Hungarian, he was from Budapest, and basically talked about how you could get bone marrow soup and bone marrow. Well, I came over here and found out it's wonderful, but this stimulates the vitamin C to really work. And that bone marrow was one of the real elements that was able to heal Ebola. Viral conditions. We're now under the COVID threat. When you are very, very first exposed to a virus such as COVID, the bone marrow, bone broth soup will stimulate the production of antibodies. Very, very important. You should not take this at the later stages. It's dangerous. You watch our videos and learn more about that. But as we start to get back to our vitamin C deficiency, we see that poor diet, smoking, alcohol, stress, antibiotics, pain medication, all these different things, carbon monoxide, mold toxicity, heavy metal toxicity, these cause vitamin C deficiency, not just from not eating it, but even eating it, you won't absorb it and can't use it. The vitamin C deficiency could cause anemia, bone problems, wound healing, slow factors, bleeding gums, loosened teeth, muscle degeneration, hysteria. Scurvy was the old idea, and vitamin C really was one of the first things that was found. And now if we look at the vitamin C deficiency, we're going to see that when you get bleeding at the gums, you get different joint pains. You get the inability of something to heal. You easily bruise. That's how St. Georgie found vitamin C, by the way. St. Georgie asked the question, why does the yellow pepper not bruise the same way the yellow apple does? And as he looked into it, he started to see that there was a vitamin C. And this was a living thing. And he started to understand that we needed to deal with the concepts of energy. And that's how he led to his discovery. But then they reduced it to ascorbic acid and misunderstood everything. Dry skin, easily splitting hair, diarrhea, digestive disorders, nosebleeds, all signs of a vitamin C deficiency. Grumpiness, fatigue, inability to handle stress. But keep in mind that we need to listen to the words of Ravishi, the great, who told us all about the law of dualism. The law of dualism states that the symptoms you get from a deficiency of a nutrient is the same type of symptoms you get from too much. You might be deficient in a nutrient, have the symptoms, then you start taking massive amount and the symptoms come back. Because too much or too little can create the symptoms. So we need to recognize the same thing with vitamin C. And that as we deal with vitamin C and the risk factors of the chronic use of the drugs and the aspirin, the oral contraceptives, etc., these things create risks, cigarette smoking especially. That we need to be able to recognize that vitamin C is involved with almost every disease. So vitamin C now has really become a panacea. It's useful to get to people. However, the daily recommended dose is about 100 milligrams a day. You can get it very easily from foods. Food is your best medicine, and food is your best source of vitamin C. And taking massive doses of vitamin C, your body just gets used to it. See, it's a water-soluble vitamin. So vitamin C, in order for it to do the amazing things with your immune system, needs to be taken in excess when needed, not as a panacea. So you get it from foods, and then you're going to be able to use the vitamin pills later. If you get bell peppers, you get these different nutrient-rich foods into your body, you're going to get all the vitamin C you need. Then you can take more, and when you take more, you're going to need to make sure you're taking a natural, a well-blended natural with the entire vitamin C complex into it. Then you can start taking larger and larger doses. The larger and larger doses of vitamin C will help you when needed. It's not really a preventative. It's much more of a treatment when needed. And always remember, a synthetic anything is an insult to the body, even a synthetic vitamin C. Try to use natural. When I worked with St. Georgie, who won the Nobel Prize, I worked with him in New Hampshire. And it was very interesting because he laughed and said that nobody understood what vitamin C, that it's not ascorbic acid. It's a complex of many, many things. And then he wrote this book on quantum biology, which laid the foundations for the work that Dr. Isaacs and I did. So it was just very interesting. And we have to get an understanding that you normally get your vitamin C from good foods, and then you take more when needed, but you don't want to get the supplements that are completely synthetic. You want to try to get a natural supplement, and you want to use the supplement when you really feel that you need a boost in the immune system or a boost in your cartilage, your problems with the connective tissues. So this is a little bit of history of the vitamin C and a little bit of advice there for you.
That's fantastic. At the health homeopathic pharmacy where I spend a bit of time and I do lecturing and things, I was telling them about the difference between a natural vitamin C in a food form, herbal form, and versus the ascorbic acid. So the one lady said, well, why are we even selling ascorbic acid? It suddenly dawned on her that they were selling synthetic things.
I know. And people were, they're always talking about these different pills and etc. And I tried to tell them that I think if we're going to be healers, we're going to be doctors, we have to realize that some of the people are going to come to us and have no money at all. How do I give advice to somebody? How do I give advice to a Buddhist monk who has sworn to never touch money? Okay. Do I have to say to him, oh, throw your philosophy and your religion out the window because now you got to buy a vitamin? No, I have to understand that I'm going to have to look at my thought and how do I treat people who have no money so that they don't have to buy anything. Now, then after I can do that, then I can go on to saying, okay, buy this supplement, buy this supplement, buy this supplement, because most people are just not going to take the time and energy to eat right and etc. So I then believe that we want to then do it. We want to get to it. But then here comes this industry along with the synthetic. Oh, the synthetic this and that is made by our society was thinking that the synthetics are going to be the same as the natural. Yeah. We have to get away from that. We have to wake people up to that. And we have to wake people up to getting the natural compounds. And many of these natural compounds, they can't get, without buying them. But I want them to understand that the more natural, the better. And I really have to, try to put, get the message across to buy natural.
If we talk about messages, I think that the best gift what you can ever give to a human being is your time, your help, and your care without expecting anything back. That's, I think, wonderful, mostly now in these COVID times where everybody is afraid and stress factors are up to the kazoo. And I think where we are in this industry is really beautiful that we can actually reach out even in subspace and help anybody all around the world.
Somebody asked me one time, I was asked to do a lecture at it was a Bible retreat, and there was 1,000 kids and their parents and everything, and they had this big thing, and I was asked to come in and do this. And one of the people asked me, what would be the most powerful thing that you would recommend for our children? And I thought about it, and I said, spiritual friends. If you get good spiritual friends
who have no interest in being your friends, no expectation,
they're spiritual friends. And if you could get that, that is such a gift.
It's amazing.
because so many people would think, but if you just, bad friends can be such a bad influence, and good spiritual friends, and open-minded, spiritual friends.
I think,
and I don't mean religious.
what I think that, for example, the reason I really love to have as much dogs as we can, because dogs are living in a constant enlightenment state and in an unconditional love, and they are just there for you. And I think that
it's true. And I think also just to say, I mean, Daisy, you've encapsulated all of this in the IMUNE course, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit in time to come. But if people who are coming in who are loving this kind of space, who are spiritually aligned with what we're doing, what we're talking about, who are wanting natural, authentic, whole foods, and understanding quantum and understanding the real power of the quantum medicine, it's all encapsulated in Daisy's IMUNE courses. And you were talking about expanding your mind. A course like this, the IMUNE diploma course, exactly does that. It expands your mind beyond what you ever thought your potential could be. So I just want to speak to everyone and say, you know what, we have the tools available to us. We don't have to wait every Wednesday for a couple of snapshots. You can actually go straight in there, get stuck in. There's medical textbooks, there's videos. A year ago, the YouTube channel was taken down. We've resuscitated it all. We're back on track. And honestly, there's just a mine of information there on every level you want. There's videos, and I just find, Daisy, the more I read about what you've done and things, the more conscious I become, and the more consciousness I can share with others. So, again, thank you for putting it together in the way you have, and really just urging people to, to come on board. You don't even have to have a device to do this diploma. It's amazing. But I'm sure you'll end up with a device after that, because when you sit then in front of the device and you expand your mind to infinity, and the universal morphogenic field and everything, there are endless possibilities. The potential is beyond what you'd ever thought of. So I just want to share that with all of you who feel you're ready and feel called to really, really get stuck in and actually want to help other people, because it's not about you learning it and keeping it in. We actually want to share. We want to educate as many, as Rita was saying. We want to educate people, because we want to actually remove the misconceptions, the myths, the programming that's been going on, and get back to simple, organic, authentic ways of doing things. And then we feed our brain, we feed our mind, the synaptic cleft is working properly.
You remember about the enlightenment path, chop wood, carry water, and if you get to enlightenment, go back to the marketplace and chop wood, carry water. Human beings are designed for organic action and everyday system and simple little things, what keeps them present, aware, and in the now.
This is it. And you know what? Also, I just think that life's not a rehearsal. And quite frankly, the clock's ticking in the earth plane. And for me, it's really a quest of learning as much as I can, as quick as I can. And Izzy spent a whole video talking about, stimulating our brain and on a daily basis. So I really hope that all of you, enjoy Daisy and Rita joining us and sharing so much live, because this is an absolute gift to have this live show and have Daisy here with her heart connection and sharing her love with us too. So Daisy, we all feel it, and thank you so much. I know it's really your busy schedule. So I'm going to be speaking about the ins and outs of the course coming up, and a little bit of fermented foods. Do you want to say some words before you go, Rita?
Yeah, we would like to thank you for organizing these amazing events and connecting so many people. And we want to thank you that we can actually share Desiree's amazing knowledge. I believe I'm just like next to her like little student in training. And I really enjoy that I can actually share my experiences and knowledge, and we want to thank you.
Oh, pleasure, absolute pleasure. And I mean, as we always say as well, Rita, those people that want to also come in and learn more, you know, we're happy to do the consultations and share and show people, and you know, they can feel the benefits of quantum medicine. And now more than ever before, you know, telehealth, telemedicine, what we have is beyond anything anyone else has. It's beyond what any human brain can do. And the results are palpable. I had a lady the other day who, never mind, a whole lot of things, and she needed lumbar punctures and so on. She was told her brain was split, but anyway, and she used a simple little oximeter. All right, before we started the quantum assessment, and her oxygen levels were measuring 91, and after the session, an hour, it was on 96. So that was enough physical evidence for her that what we are doing is tangibly working. And I just shared that. It's really small, but it's very powerful. And people comment all the time about, you know, the effects that they're feeling. I did a shiatsu master on Monday, and we went through the brain, heart, brain, emotional stabilization panels, and also just tying everything up, working interdimensionally. And he honestly benefited. He honestly felt his life coming together in a more coherent, harmonious way. So that's from a very, really enlightened person too. It's not only for sick people. It's for people who want to also create an infinite potential for themselves. And
I believe that we learn until we die, and then we are coming back again, maybe in different forms, different ways, different, you know, energy. I believe that our physical life is a lifetime lesson for all of us, and if we accept that, then we are going on our own path a lot easier instead of fighting that, because I believe learning is fun.
It stimulates the synaptic cleft, so we better get going.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Jane. We have to say goodbye to you.
Thank you, Daisy. I'm going to carry on, everyone. I'm going to talk to you about the course and a little bit about activating the gut, the microbiome, and little things that you can make, and the reason for making them. So you guys, we'll see you next week. We're continuing with nutrition, and what a great space, because we need the vitality.
Yeah, have a
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Ciao. Bye-bye, everyone. So, okay, let's have a look at some of the slides that I've put together. I'm just going to open, this is our new course, and with disease beginning in the gut, and that's actually Hippocrates. So I put together the space because in our gut, we have to have sufficient friendly bacteria. And they are what's termed beneficial bacteria, fungi, and yeasts, all right, which exist in nature, which are there. I believe they actually stimulate our intelligence, and they carry life force. And I've looked at them under a microscope, and they are incredible. It looks like a little galaxy with little electrons, but they're all shooting across underneath the microscope in front of you, and these are alive. That light is on, whether they're in the soil, whether they're in an animal, a plant, or ourselves. And our microbiome is the same. We live in the same microbial cloud. So therefore, we're eating and breathing the same, and we are interconnected and intertwined and entangled, as we all know. So very important that we really start forming an affinity with our microbiome. After all, 90% of us is bacterial, fungal, or yeast in the positive, beneficial forms, right? And that is how they exist. They only go into an opportunistic pathogen form when there are toxins invade the body, and they go there to help to invade and remove the toxin together with the immune system. So if we don't have enough friendly bacteria, we're missing that point. We need them to be able to go and fight for us when we need them. So along with vitamin C and all those things, we have to have good microbiome, and they develop vitamin B and vitamin K in our bodies. How often do you look on your quantum screen and you see deficiencies in B and K? So many times we know there's a deficiency in microorganisms, and we don't want to be taking frozen and dead microorganism products. We want to be taking products where they're alive. And people get stuck on colony forming units. It's not about that. It's about the number of strains, because we have a microbiome like our fingerprint. And our body will readjust normal beneficial bacteria, fungi, and yeasts into the forms that we need to adjust ourselves. So they are responsible also for our happiness and our well-being, because they assist in the production of serotonin, dopamine, GABA, and PEA, neurotransmitters. So if someone is lacking neurotransmitters, we know that there's a lack in the microbiome. There's a distortion. So if you have a distortion, you're going to allow the baddies to grow. If you allow the baddies to grow, again, that's your choice. So people will come in and they're stuck with H. pylori, or they've got a CBOS or an amoeba. Amoeba is terrible. That is the worst and virtually the last one that's got to go. And that little chap actually can be responsible for all sorts of brainwave dysfunctioning disorders. For example, the EEG in epilepsy, because they eat all the GABA, so you can't put the brainstorms out. So these guys, these unfriendly ones, are really, a force not to be reckoned with. And we have to bolster and build up the friendly, beneficial ones. So I'm going to show you some nice, really nice opportunities in what I do. Normally, I've got my live ones with me, but I'm in a different office now. So this is a slide from the IMUNE course, which I just want to share with you. So Desi here is talking about mental health. We only have to look at the overflowing mental hospitals around the world to know that there's a disaster, that there's a crisis. So what she says here is modern allopathic synthetic medicine is an emotionless, unnatural negation of health. It is not health care, but disease care. It isn't organized to serve human health, but chiefly only itself, and mostly as a profit institution. So we're repeating what she said, but I think we need to repeat it to actually really, really understand it. So the important part here is to understand that our mental health, our serotonin, our dopamine, our happiness is dependent on our gut health, the microflora of our gut. And when we meet people, our microbes greet each other. We're not even aware of it. When we walk outside, the microbes in the air, in the forest, in nature, all greet each other. We're not even aware of it. So, and they also reconstruct. And if somebody's taking an antibiotic, they will also shy away. They don't want to be near it because they feel the antibiotic. They feel the effect of anti-life. So important just to know that if someone is on antibiotics, take some extra microbes yourself to ward off the damage. So here's about brain hormones. I've just said this, they're made in your gut, and here are all the words I've just been using, including oxytocin. And look, the happy hormones controlling stress, that's the GABA. Anxiety, dopamine for motivation, getting up and doing things, and pleasure. And the oxytocin for bonding, physical human bonding, sharing love, controlling the self. And many, many, many more essential hormones, because we don't even know them all. They haven't all been identified. So what is the best diet for weight loss? Just think about it. Whole plant foods and foods that contain microorganisms, because if they're alive, you will also find they have live enzymes. And the live enzymes, we talked about that this evening, are critical for digestion, critical for maintaining the homeostasis in the gut. So we bring them in with foods, especially fruits like pineapple, and also in live fermented microbes. Only by stabilizing the gut flora can we start to treat mental health diseases. Try it yourself, okay? Get some microbes. We'll look at options coming up now. Try it yourself. You will lose weight. You will feel fantastic. Okay, so we get really excited about the good, simple stuff. And here is a really, 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 really big problem. Those people that are taking sugar sweeteners, aspartame, NutriSweet, which is actually an amino acid, a very, very, very dangerous amino acid that lives in the brain and eats away the brain for the rest of your life unless you detoxify it out. And it's hidden in everything, particularly barbecue flavored chips or rice cakes or whatever. You will find it there. And so there's names for them. So you can look at your labels. They're all FDA approved. And these products cause absolute havoc in our gut, absolute havoc. And you will find it in mentally unstable people that they have a high accumulation of these perceived sweet amino acids. So it's just interesting that, you know, of course, they are FDA approved. All right, so let's have a look at some of this that I've presented before on fermented foods. And these are my friends. I love these things. I have a microbiome next to me. I have in my fridge, I have sauerkraut, kimchi, which I make myself. I've got a kefir, which I make myself. I've got a miso in the fridge as well, which I use. I love that miso soup. And when I go to very special Indian restaurants and stuff, I'll always order the idli with the dosa and so on. I make kombucha too. Those of you who've been to the center know about these products. So let's go into them a little bit more. And also let's have a look at the reason why you want to grow them in your own home or make them yourselves, because they are so intelligent that they pick up on your excesses and your deficiencies. If I make my sauerkraut, my cabbage with salt, and I'm making it with my hands and I'm speaking to it and I'm conscious, it is going to work for me on a much higher level than if I go and buy a shop-bought one that was blended with the blade and made by somebody else, or made actually in a mechanized way, you see. So we can actually raise the intelligence of the plant as medicine for ourselves as well by making it ourselves. And it is so easy. And actually, our ancestors did all this. It wasn't news to them. It wasn't new. They did it. And on every mealtime, there was some form of microorganism-based food that was going to help digest the food. What do we do now? We sit at a restaurant, a cold Coke with ice in it, a pizza, completely, that entire food choice is acidic and has nothing to help digestion. In fact, the opposite. It's heating digestion. So here we have kimchi and sauerkraut, and I've put a little recipe there. So those of you who got your cameras, you can screenshot this one. And you can look on my YouTube, because I've got how to make this fermented food. All right, this is the sauerkraut, this is the kimchi, and we put a bit of caraway in there, and it's turmeric, and it's absolutely delicious. Your food digestion is smooth. It just moves through. And this is what we're aiming for, because those people that are really hit with COVID or bad, infections, comorbidity infections, are the ones that have a blocked gut, a blocked lung, a blocked liver, a blocked gut intestine, and a blocked skin, and a blocked kidney, blocked lymph. So if you've got those things that are blocked, it's very difficult for your body to detoxify properly and to detoxify from all these other things. So we need to help it. And microbes detoxify us. When the oil slick is spilt on the ocean, they bring in microbes, microorganisms, and they bring in enzymes. And within, I don't know exactly how long, but a very short amount of time, it's scavenged up. When they clean the sewers, they put in beneficial bacteria, fungi, and yeast microbes, fermented, and enzymes. So imagine if we're doing that on a daily basis to our gut. We're bringing in a fermented product that's literally self-cleaning. Because remember, with us, our microbes are moving through, so we have to restore. We can take a prebiotic, which is a thing like a celery or an artichoke or some grains of rice or banana or kefir. Those are prebiotics that help the colony form. Much better in the natural, simple format than going and buying a prebiotic. right? So if you really want to take your health to the next level, we need to make. Okay, so let's have a look here and see the recipe. I think you all got that. And by the way, if you take the sauerkraut and you put your 1 or 2 tablespoons of flaxseed oil, people always asking me, how do I eat the flaxseed oil? You put it in there, it's a meal on its own. One of my clients taught me that. It is delicious. And it's cold, there's enzymes, it's not been heated. And here we've got idli, which is a fermented dull black lentil and rice. So it's soaked, it's fermented, and very, very lightly steamed. And it comes with very delicious sauces. And this here is doing the probiotic work for us. Very, very important. Here we've got the miso, a fermented paste that's made by infusing a mixture of soya beans with a special mold, which you can buy, called koji, and it's cultivated from rice or barley or soya beans, which are boiled to form a concentrate and then fermented. Our ancestors did this. They made it on their own. You can do it yourself. And I'm getting really hungry now, by the way. So when I'm seeing that miso soup, here's the yogurt kefir fermented cheese. You will find it often, or you would have found it often on our ancestors' tables. And here you can buy the kefir grains online, basically. And I have an ongoing one. I don't feel like milk every day. So I have, my genetically modified free chickens. They've never eaten genetically modified foods. They love this. So I put it in their water. My dogs like it. And on the days when I don't want milk or a milk product. So we rather eat intuitively. So here when I say you use raw milk, you see, we don't want heated milk. Why? Because the protein's already denatured and so is the fat. So you want to use a raw milk, okay? And then you literally pop the grains in, and in a day you've got kefir. In 2 or 3 days, you've got cottage cheese, which is at the top. So it's a kefir or a cottage cheese. And we've hereby enhanced the intelligence of the food. And we've assisted in the digestion of the food, because we've partially digested it already. And we've also allowed the intelligence through the microorganisms to grow. So it's a lovely, lovely, lovely. And those people, just to say, that are dairy intolerant, often the benefit will outweigh. I'm not saying eat milk every day, but sometimes the benefit will outweigh completely avoiding it. So we want to develop a little bit of tolerance in the body. And we must also work with our soul. Here we've got the dokla, which is awesome, tempered and steamed chickpea flour. So also great. And I've put 2 websites there that you can go and have a look at it, how to make it. And here we have there's the method. Never mind. You can screenshot that. And absolutely wonderful. So just remember that these microorganisms, all right, are very acidic. So they live at a pH below 4, all right, which is amazing, because when you consume them into the stomach, we're wanting an acidic environment to digest our food. Most people are not breathing properly, and they've got literally acid in the limbs, and they have an alkaline stomach. So when we're consuming these things, they are brilliant for stomach and digestion, and they can withstand as much acidity as you need and pass right through to the rest of the intestine, small intestine, large intestine, wherever they need to be. So that's quite an important thing. And I'll come to your questions in a moment. So let's get back there to make sure everyone got this one. And let me see what's next. All right, here we've got the kombucha, so rewarding, it's lovely. And it helps one form a relationship with the microbes, which are 90% ourselves. And to tell you the story about kombucha, from time to time I would buy it from the shops, and I would feel the alcohol content. And it disturbed me quite a lot. And I thought to myself, there's only one way out of this. How can we have such a magical, powerful product, but it's not giving me the health benefits that I'm looking for, what my body's looking for? That's why I started making it myself. And then I realized that it needs to get ripe. The pH must drop to below 4, right? And all the sugar and the caffeine in the tea and everything needs to be munched up by the organisms, because you get it's called a SCOBY that sits at the top. And when the kombucha tastes like enhanced vinegar and almost takes your breath away, it's so strong, that is when you consume it. If you're consuming sweet kombucha, you got a problem. You're gonna grow candida, because it's cane sugar that they make it from. So I just share that with you. Okay, and this is exquisite and it's delicious, and you can have it any time of the day. It's refreshing. You can even second generation brew it by adding pineapple juice or any of your other raw juices that you love. You can do that too. So here's a beautiful recipe. And as I said, we do it and we benefit. And here's the microbiome reset from 365 Healthy by Choice, where we have close on 120 live strains. It's not about the colony forming units. It's about the number of live strains, because our product is live. The pH is correct. It probably lasts for about 6 months. And in here, we have the intelligence. We have the microbiome, and let the body choose what it wants, when it wants. And let the shape-shifting occur inside the body. We are not programming the body with 1 or 2 or 6 or 12 organisms only. We are giving the body something that's brewed anaerobically, but out of the natural microbial cloud in which we live in. And this is simple, and this is nature. All right, and it's delicious. It tastes like a lemon salt kind of a drink, and you can obviously add your own amount of water. This is essential, and virtually nobody leaves my center without a bottle of this. And people say to me, well, how long do I need to take it? Well, I'm sorry, but you need to take it, because we are getting hammered 24/7 by toxicity, radiation, and these little organisms are very clever, and they go and scavenge. Make the vitamin B and K, make the build the serotonin, GABA, oxytocin, dopamine in the gut, and they sort us out. So it's no use running to the shop and buying bottles of vitamin B and vitamin K. It's a short-term solution. It's not sustainable health. So we're giving you ideas here how to bring this in, which is just fascinating. And as I say, building your relationship with nature and with living beings. And my product is actually 2nd and 3rd generation brewed, because we add medicinal mushrooms, we add reishi, we add chaga, we add cordyceps, we add lion's mane, we add shiitake, we add blue-green algae, chlorella, spirulina, we add about 7 adaptogenic herbs. So we're adding all these products which naturally come with their microbial cloud. So let me explain that. If you pick a peach off an organic tree and you eat it, there are microbes already around that peach that are ready to help digest. Nothing exists in isolation. If we've taken a peach off a commercially grown tree and we have to wash it and we have to get rid of all the insecticides, etc., the microbial cloud is distorted, all right? And there might even be some unfriendly ones there as well. So here, when I've added these high vibrational, high life force products with lots of neg entropy, imagine what we create here. So this is the brew. It's a nutrient dense fermentation, basically. And it's got nutrients that are not probably even written in books yet. They probably haven't been even isolated. So, very important, all of this, and to bring the intelligence into the body. And so, yeah, I just take swigs out of the bottle of this. I find it amazing. And for what it gives you, for the amount that it costs, it's really, really small. And so, yeah, very, very, very important. Part of our protocol to reset the body, by the way. So let me just see what questions we might be sitting with here. Yes, hi, Judith. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. I've opened up the gateways around the world right now, so we can send the products around the world. There's only one product I'm waiting for OK, but right now all of these products are available because the countries have agreed on them. So, all right, so here we're looking at what I've just mentioned, what I've talked to you about. Some of it is my knowledge, but a lot of it and almost all of it is in the immune course already anyway. So what we need to do is we need to get onto this course, all right, and really start understanding Desi's stance regarding big pharma, big tobacco, big sugar, and in fact, big oil. And the onerous purpose that she took on to defend the planet from the evils of the ultra-rich. And, you know, that is really her purpose. She's done this. She's brought this immense device to us. So the immune course is the protecting natural medicine with evidence-based professional education. And it's over 20 years old and it's all online, which means you can go at your own pace. All right, let's see the next slide. So that one we've done. And that one we've done. No one we've done. So here are the immune certificates. All right, and this Immune University is registered in the British Isles, and these are the certificates available. What's very beautiful is that you can begin the course, you can do the diploma, but you've already done 37 courses, okay, of the 100-odd doctorate courses. So you're already a third of the way through of your doctorate. And the amount that you pay for these diplomas, 600 euros, I'm coming to that in a moment, is minimal compared to what you're paying for a diploma out there. And the speed of time that you can actually complete this is your own too. So you're not having to sit for 3 years. So I found that's really, really important as well. And it's a real journey and it's a real enlightenment. And it's just something that, you know what, you won't have to come back and do one day. Everything is there. And there's a slide also about the International Medical University. And just to say also that when you go into the university, you go in via a program called IMFlix, and you pay monthly about $15. But you are exposed to everything and more. Desi is constantly loading her videos 24/7 onto there. And you have, as I said to you, all the courses. The naturopathic course is there, the course in homeotoxicology, the course in homeopathy. So you can also choose. And even if you don't do the courses are there. If you want to do the course, you pay and you get a mentor. And then the license course, which I'll talk about in a moment now, you buy the license. So let's have a look here. There's the price of the course, okay, 600 euros. Price of a mentor, that's if you want me to help you. Then there's an annual license of 150 euros. That is like any profession, right? You need to pay your license every year, and you also need to do continuing educational points. So all you've got to do is go into the IMFlix and do a couple of continuing educational point courses, which is a delight anyway. It's a feast for anyone's imagination. So to keep your license, once you bought it, to keep it active, you have to then do the continuing educational lectures and to get your points. So what Desi is also offering is this license. You can pay 300 euros if you want to take the license if you want to buy the license for 3 years. So you're going to save 150 euros by doing that. Okay. Or you can get a lifetime license. Now, I think that's magic as well. You never have to think about renewing it. All you have to do is do your CPE, continuing educational points every year. And anyway, who wants to go and see a practitioner or who wants to go to a dentist who the last time they went to an international course or did any continuing educational points was 25 years ago? You definitely don't want to see a dentist who's doing that. Same with us. You definitely don't want to see a quantum therapist who's never upgraded their knowledge for the last, I don't know, 20, 25, 10, 15, 5 years even. You're outdated, you're behind. And therefore, your consciousness is behind, and therefore, how are you going to give out to the best of the people? You're just not going to be able to. This is critical, and it's straightforward, and it's the same with all professions. So this licensed diploma will protect you medically and legally in the field of work that you're doing. You do have to, however, work within the parameters of your country or your state, and you need to go and find that out yourself. You need to go and find out what those parameters are yourself. And remember the whole time as well is that we're not diagnosing or treating, all right? And we have the whole Nelson methodology to look at stress. So anything that causes a stress is a stressor, and those are the things we're removing. We're removing the aggravations and the causes of disease, and we're identifying them, which is just really magic. All right, and then there's the IMFlix program. And as I said, it's $15 a month, and you go directly to imflix.com, and you basically have access to, well, Desi's universal morphogenic field, because she's just downloading stuff 24/7. So you can book for these courses right now on the 365healthybychoice.com website. You go to courses, and I actually put it in on the chat. So I want to see if it's still there. So you can click on there, you can go and have a look, and there's not a lot to see. If you want to see, then go into IMFlix. If you're battling to get in, please come to me. Okay? And here are the two devices, the QUEX ED and the S, and these are the upgraded model from the Educta and the Skier. And the special ending in March, Desi's offered a down payment on the QUEX ED, and that is 7,777 euros, and you pay the rest off over 2 to 3 years at 1% per month. So you're basically paying the price of this one. This one does not have all the software. So by the time you've bought all the software, you've actually paid more than the 21,500. So this one is 21,500 euros. You pay your down payment and you pay it off monthly. So while you are having clients and running your business and consulting, you can then start putting a portion aside every month to pay the 1% back. You get a lump sum payment, you pay it off. Right. That's what she's made possible for us. She can't keep it like this, so she's told me until the end of March. So you better speak to me quickly so we can get this in if this is what you want. And the new devices are going to be having a lot of these programs already embedded in them that you can directly send to your clients. So you can upgrade their information, their consciousness, their awareness as to disease. And, in that way we can go viral, if you like, with training people to be healthy and making healthy choices where, what I say, you think clearly and live productively. That's got to be one of our goals. We've got to be able to do that. We've got to clear that clutter. So, that's what I wanted to share with you regarding this nutrition, the course, and how you can make your food more intelligent by fermentation processes, and then you will also make your body more intelligent. Okay, so now to those of you who've enjoyed today, tomorrow we have the Jane Live Living in the Now, which is a live program as well, and we go through case studies. And it's really, really amazing. It's live. There's pictures sometimes. There's live case study people coming in, and also people reading out, the marvelous case studies. And literally on a day-to-day basis, we have got 24/7 case studies. In fact, I always say pick up any one of our files and it's a case study on its own. So we are getting phenomenal results with the quantum devices, sometimes without. And we want to share that with everybody because, again, it's a form of education, and these case studies are going to be published as well. So I urge you to come in and learn. It's complimentary. And so here's the ad for that. And actually the event webinar is down there. It's also on the WhatsApp link. And let me just see if I can quickly get that for you and put it on here, because I see, and thanks for joining us. There's many nice new people coming in. And I'm just going to get the link. Let me see where it is. And you, as I said, you can come in, you just sign in and come in and share, and also share your own experiences, because I think this is very important too. Is it under, where is it under group settings, or where is it? No. I don't know, but I tell you what, I can't find it right now, and I don't want to keep you. So those people who want the link, I'm going to put my number in the group, okay? +27. All right, that's my WhatsApp number. So we really want to get you on this link, because if we do lose you, we can always contact you. But also Daisy sends me things on a weekly basis also to post. So like tonight, I'm going to be posting all the four links that she's just given us of the videos that we've just showed. I'm also going to be posting the recording, this recording. So, oh, sorry. Let me just come out of there. So it's the way to link and keep abreast with things that are going on. It's not political at all, and it's for 365 products and information and immune. Daisy's immune information too. So it's great, and we'd love to have those of you who are not with us. And also bring us the cases. I mean, today we saw a lady that's I'm just going to go there, I think, because I want to show you what we were looking at today, what I posted. And you know, this is what happens. People walk in, and let me just share the screen. And so we're going to be following this lady's progress. And many of them come in and speak. So I've actually got two very nice people coming in to speak. This is a lady that's got a parasite infection so badly that she can't sleep. She's been on cortisone. She scratched herself until she's scarred. It has been so horrific, the scratching. Here's her arms. These are all different. This is her leg. No, arm again, I think. Yeah, arm again. Here are her legs. Look at these dark marks you get. You get it from the malarias. You get it from the HIV. You get it from Lyme's disease. You get it from sexually transmitted diseases. You get it from all over. So here we have our lady. And then what we did was we did her blood. All right. And you can see those two little things there. Oh, sorry. Let me go back. Where did it go? Yeah. So you can see those two little spirochetes there. And there's more. She's riddled with it. They're all swimming in her blood, and they're coming out of her skin. So that's the kind of thing that we look at, and we make people aware of what happens if you don't eat natural foods and think natural thoughts, etc., etc., etc. So I hope you've really enjoyed this evening. Wow, it's been quite a long session. So it'll just take me a little bit longer to download the video, but I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And please invite your friends to come in. You know, it's an honor to have Desi. It really enlivens the course. It enlivens our day. And, you know, there's such nuggets and pearls of information that come through too. So thank you all. Thanks for being part of this. And, you know, let's just really strive to, well, be the best we can be and be the change we want to see. Okay. Any more questions, anyone? Relating to this, if you want to buy the microbiome reset, go onto the website and you just check out. You choose it and you check out and we send it to you. Okay. Have a good rest of the day, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you very much for coming through. We never feel the time. I know it's absolutely strange. It's the weirdest thing on earth. And we see everybody joining us. Oh, wow. Judith, welcome. So as you all know, I don't always see all the names of people sitting here, but I know you're there. I know all the people that need to be there are there. So good. We've gone from water to, what did we do? We did water and hydration. We did proteins and the brain, the dopamine and the serotonin and stuff. I showed you how to get it in naturally and stimulating the brain. And we talked about non-judgmental awareness and cleaning the clutter and harmonizing and love, the essential nutrient, and respecting ourselves, and then the effect of germs and cooking, and cosmic microwave radiation, which Desi's talked about a lot, and neg entropy, and then finally the the biomedical bioenergetic model by Georgi, the bone marrow, vitamin C, and then also Revici, the quantum biology. So listen, guys, this is all in the course. Go get stuck in. That's all I'm saying. All right. Let me see. There's another chat here. Thank you, guys. It's awesome. It's awesome having you from all over the world. Bye for now. See you next week. Put it in your diary so you know. Okay.